So good afternoon, guys. I'm Suyash, and this is my team. We are presenting you the house. So to start, let's play a small game. Let's see who has got the fastest reaction time in this room. I will say a word. You will come up with the first thing which comes into your mind, right? The word is living room. First. Good. So do we have everything in New York like that? But we don't have these things in New York. So high living cost, smaller living arrangement, be it a student or a young working millennial. We don't have enough money, stressful work and study environment. We want to network, we want to socialize, we want to relax, we want to live, we want to chill, but it should be affordable. Here's the solution, the house. What's our mission? To create a world where people stop existing in their home and start living in the house. Mission is possible. So, previous slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, next slide, next slide. Next slide. Okay, so what's the idea? The idea is to offer a spacious, self-serving leisure area that is your living room, away from your home, and which would have all the things you would like to have in your living room. For example, coffee machines, games, study areas, work area, storage area, projections, projectors, big TV screens, everything. Designed in an innovative way to create a collaborative environment. It's a living room of your home. We are offering you a whole new concept in the shared economy industry. That's a shared living room. So, what's the house? The house will be your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Tinder, your WeWork, your Airbnb, your bar, your house, your coffee, your restaurant, your club, your lounge, your library, your motivation, your feeling. It's a vibe. It's an experience. It's an experience like GEP program. So do you want this experience to continue? Yeah. Say yes, man. Yeah. Okay. So for this, I hope you got the concept of our business. For this, I will invite Diego to go with the implementation plan.
Thanks, yes. So how we go about implementing this? Because our business has several aspects to it, so it's difficult to boil it down. So what we did is we sat down and we came out with a list of assumptions. It was more or less 60, and we narrowed it down to 37. And we followed this out of what Professor Beckenheimer said of the Lean Startup book, and we looked at a conference that they had in Holden in 2014. So the assumptions have, for a product service to succeed, it's necessary that they're willing to commute for 30 minutes. So with this in mind, we had the 37 assumptions, and each of one, we had given a rank 1 to 5 to the likelihood of being true, and 1 to 5, how critical were they to our business. So here, what this chart does is let us know what are the most important assumptions that we need to focus on first. So with this chart in mind, we boiled it down to 10 nuggets of information that we wanted to find out with our customers. So what we did is we developed a floor plan of our facility, and we said, okay, we held 53 interviews, and out of those 53 interviews beforehand, we said we want to talk more or less with 40% students, 40% young professionals, and 20% others. Funny thing that happened is that you can say this, but people in the street don't walk with a sign that says I'm a student or I'm a young professional. So that was, I don't know how we didn't think about it. So we did this, and we printed out our posters. So we went to the streets and talked with a bunch of people, 53 interviews we held. And Shushan Shan is going to tell you what we learned on those interviews. Thanks.
Okay. The first thing is that what we think before I will do the validation and interview. That is some things like preliminary persona about our customers. We think our customers should have the least attributes. The first, they want to go somewhere, the multifunction places, to help party, to study, and to get trainings. And they prefer to go in the place, they prefer the place is accessible within 10 minutes work or driving place distance. And they are keen on to spend a whole day here, and they will usually go there alone, and they want to explore a new community in these places. And they do like to pay the membership fees because it will be cheaper and lower the price of their experiences. It will be amazing for them to have the self-service, and they will like to bring their own beverage and foods and to store them in the space. But after we do the interview, we change a lot and we learn a lot. This is a validation part, and the first is very basic things is a very happy and a positive one. So that is 92% of the people like our house, think it's a very amazing places for studying the party place. And we can see from this bar chart that the people will usually like the active mix about the party, study, and networking is slightly different from our previous one. And another thing is that there is a change of our business because we don't want to focus more on the building communities. But instead of that, we will focus more on the group purchase. Because from the bar chart, we can see the people usually comes to this kind of place with their friends, their existing friends. And what they do from every time they go, they will like to pay on a single entrance fee other than the membership fee. But we will still keep the membership fee for them because we find the students will prefer that. And after that, we have a lot of data, but we don't present them in the data in the bar chart, but we will present it directly, the outcomes afterwards. And we will present the last bar chart is about the payments. We ask the people about the payments preference. And we thought that most of them wants to pay in a very reasonable range of money. That means we can earn money from this business. And after we learn from that, we will we change the customer persona in the assumptions, and this is what we modify. And our new customer is Smart Eddie. He is people who is a student or a young professional, and he will be between the age of 20 to 30, and he will like to enjoy the party and study as well. We presented previously, but he will more like to got engaged in the networking. He will prefer spending all in evening in this to stay in our space, and he will don't like to spend the membership fee, even if it were cheaper. But if he is a student, he will like it. He will prefer the sharing space is accessible within 10 to 20 minutes, to 30 minutes. And he will go there with his old friends, and he don't care to join a new community. This is what we learned, and we will apply it in the future implementation.
Thank you, Sean. So the interesting part which we did, so we had the business concept, we did the implementation with the validation, and what we actually turned out, and that was the interesting part of this project, is that normally we presented a theoretical thing, and this time we actually went out and we found out that the idea we've had actually is not what our customers are looking for. And you can see there's like, some of the changes are more like on the core of the business, which just matter to the major concept and model, and other segments are just like more to the day-to-day running. One of the major things which I would like to point out is the fact that even though we have two target groups, the target group would use it very differently. They would, the students would more go through like daytime to study sessions, and in the evening to party, because they can bring their own alcohol and they can cost costs like this. And for young professionals, they would more use it as a after workplace. So we took all of these things, and also students, for example, pointed out to us that they would think, okay, they don't have money, so what they would like to do is that they would offer work as a payment for membership, which would also be good for us because that would save us a major cost factor. We took all this information, and because we went to, for example, an industry city, we looked at Dumbo and realized there's a lot of movement in Brooklyn. So what we actually pointed out is Greenpoint is close to Williamsburg, but it's not an area which is like known for a lot of entrepreneurship. But for example, Kickstarter opened a new offices there. They're bringing about 100 people. There's around 3,000 apartments moving to Greenpoint. There's Williamsburg close in the south, which has an increase of 32% of businesses moving their office space, and has a ferry port which takes 7 minutes to Manhattan in the 31st Street and 30 minutes to Wall Street, and also subway lines here. And we found out actually an object which is a very warehouse, because we found out from our interviews that space and light is a scarcity in New York, and that the customers really would want that in a place like this. And how we would continue from this would be we would actually take what we're doing now, go to Greenpoint, redo this as a concept again, and then use the implementation and validation to actually back it up. Clear the legal factors for the warehouse. Contact businesses like Kickstarter to see if they might be interested in like potential corporations, because they would. Other people pointed out to us who interviewed that there might be interested for corporations to actually buy these membership packages for their employees to increase the quality of life and work, and then ask for an initial of $200,000. So thank you very much, and the house.